Hello everyone, I'm Michael Sazin, the Parrot Wizard. I've got Keely, my 10-year-old Senegal parrot, Rachel, 6-year-old blue and gold macaw here with me on this wonderful Thanksgiving Day. I'm very happy to join you here on this Thanksgiving Day for this special YouTube live stream. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone joining. I'll be having a bit of an informal, casual chat here with you guys, but while a few more people tune in, I'm just gonna share some stuff with you. Got Kitty over here on her perfect tree, and Truman really likes that tree. He likes to play with all the toys, but today I just have Kitty and Rachel with me. Rachel is on a Parrot Wizard training perch with a potty tray so that it catches all the mess. So very nice, convenient way to have the birds out with me. And of course, you can learn all about my parrot taming and training approach, my full, complete lifestyle with the parrots from my book, The Parrot Wizard's Guide to Well-Behaved Parrots. I'm having this live stream here today to answer any of your questions because I'm very grateful to my audience and my customers. And this is my little way of trying to give back to you and answer the things that you guys are wondering about. So I'm going to try to keep an eye on this chat and see if there's an easier way to make it full screen. So we've got Zorro joining, and Sid Ned, Lyndon Hale, Bird Lover, Crazy Game, Killer Guy, Tamos Gaming, Karen Poser. So hello everyone, thanks for joining. Going to just wait a few more minutes for some more people to join in, and then I will get to answering some of your questions. We've got Idiot Cube 901, Sassy Papa J. So thank you all for joining. Okay, Kitty, come here. Come, you want to go? Come and say hi to everyone. Hello. Hello. Hi, hello everyone. Hey, cutie. Hello. Kitty, can you shake? Want to shake? Show your wings. Ooh, show your wings. Good bird. Nod. Nod. And turn around. All right, good bird, Kitty. Hello. All right, Kitty saying hi to everyone. So, I welcome your questions, things that you're interested about. If you have questions about Keely, Truman, or Rachel, about any of my products, or questions about bird keeping and bird training, be happy to try to get to as many questions as I can today. I may not be able to address every question in detail because a lot of things about parrot keeping, really, there's no quick, easy fix to it. It's really about having the right attitude, the right lifestyle, and you know, things with parrots take a long time. These birds live for a very long time, live for 30, 50, 100 years, and likewise, their attitudes and the way they think about things take time to adjust and change. So anything that's kind of quick and easy, it's not really the way with parrots. So I think we have some questions coming in, so let me get a quick chance to read up on those. Some Hamsters says, any tips on how to convince parents to get bird? My mom said it's cruel to them in cages. Well, it's, you know, you would think that it's cruel to keep parrots in cages, but if you are going to keep a parrot as a pet, having it without a cage, there's a lot of ways that it can get hurt in your home. It can land and chew up and swallow things and get poisoned. So when you're not home, it's quite important to keep them in a cage or a safe room or enclosure. However, the thing that's not cruel about keeping parrots as pets is the relationship we make with them. We don't clip their wings, we let them fly, we let them be a bird in our home with us. We give companionship training and you know, a great lifestyle to them, take good care. And that's what it really ends up coming down to. So it's not, we don't get parrots as pets to stick them in a cage and just keep them as a trophy pet, you know, the way people maybe did it 100 years ago. That's not why we keep them as pets. We keep them as pets because they are just really thrilling, intelligent, exciting animals. But keep in mind, parrot is a big commitment, not just for you, but for your entire family. everyone's going to have to listen to the streaming, and everyone's going to have to deal with extra mess and dust. So you got to really make sure that your whole family's on board. And if they're not, you got to wait until you're a bit older and you're in charge of your own household, and you can convince those living with you that that's something you want to do. How can we have our Catalina go to people without wanting to bite them? It's all about doing step-up training. You got to do the step-up training with you first. You can't expect that, oh, my bird just steps up for me because it loves me, and now you're going to try to get it to step up for other people. You know, what your bird has for you isn't necessarily, or isn't even likely to carry over for other people. So if you haven't done the training with your bird already for your step up, of course you don't have anything that you can do to pass on to other people. So what's really important is that you use a meticulous, deliberate training strategy to teach your parrot to step up for you reliably, and using tools like a clicker and target stick, and then you reuse those with other people so that the bird knows what you're asking from it. So you practice with yourself, but then you extend those things to other people. That's kind of the short of what I can get to. Of course, the way to do it, it's not just about step-up training, it's about the whole mentality and lifestyle about living with parrots in a way that teaches them to cooperate with us. And you know, a little much to get into right now. I want to get to more questions, but you can find the answers about step-up training and all the basics that lead to being able to be successful with step-up training with you and with other people in this book. All right, let me try to get some more questions here. Yuri asked, how do I get my parrot to do tricks only by voice command? My parrot needs the command with voice command. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. What I'm thinking you're asking is that your parrot does the tricks when you point visually when you do a cue, but doesn't do the trick when you say it. So for example, let's say you teach your parrot to turn around. You say, you do this, and the parrot turns around. Then you say, turn around, and your parrot doesn't. Of course, Kitty does because she knows the voice command. The way you teach the voice cue is every time you do the visual cue. So every time you do this, you say, turn around. Good, and you click and you give a treat. Now, of course, Kitty is so excited to get to show her tricks for you guys that she doesn't even need treats right now. But the point is that you pair the visual cue with the verbal cue. The visual cues tend to be, the parrots learn them very quickly. The verbal cues, those take a much longer time. They need more practice and calibration. And they need to learn the subtle differences between the word wings and, you know, step up or turn around. You know, they need to hear them a lot of times. So for the first few years, really, with Keely, I would always show the cue and say the cue, and until eventually I can use either one interchangeably. So I can either have her wave by showing or say, wave, Keely, wave. Keely, come here, wave. Good bird. So she can do it from either the visual or the verbal because we practice them together for a very, very long time simultaneously. All right, let's see some more questions. I'm sorry if I can't get to everyone. It's a little bit tricky scrolling back through, but let's see what we can do. Dominique asked, can you elaborate how Rachel got through maturing period and how you dealt with that during that time? Rachel had some pretty tough terrible twos. Not as bad as Truman. I think he might have been the worst during that period, but Rachel was pretty difficult. Keely wasn't too bad. Keely was a little bit milder. Keely and the smaller birds, they start the terrible twos earlier. They go through it more quickly, and I don't think it gets quite as bad. As you get to bigger birds, I think the period starts later, it goes on for longer, and it hits harder. And with Rachel, it was getting difficult. I mean, Rachel was not yet even started with the terrible twos when I just first met Mariana and Rachel. Rachel was about 2 years old at that time. And she was still pretty cooperative with Mariana. She wanted to kind of bite other people, but it wasn't too bad yet. Mariana was still able to get the harness on her using the way everyone does, just stick it on the bird, and if you get away with it, whoopee. So it was working out, but as we were getting to meet, it was getting harder and harder for Mariana to get her to put on the harness, harder to get her to step up. They were starting to drift that kind of baby relationship they had going on, and that started around 3 years old. And I'd say until Rachel was about 5 and a half, it was pretty challenging. It took a lot of training. And I think what really sets terrible twos apart from, you know, just parrots and parrot naughtiness in general is that during the terrible twos, even things that should work, even the training and the positive reinforcement and the healthy feeding schedules and all the things you do right only work part of the way. It's so disappointing, so frustrating. because you're doing everything right and you're not getting the feedback from the parrot that you should be. But here's the thing, if you don't do the training, you don't do the right things, the feedback from the parrot is that it's terrible. It screams, it bites, it doesn't want anything to do with you. It's complete chaos. And if you do all the right things, then it's like it's barely cooperative with you, just coasting by. It's kind of like what you'd expect the parrot to be without all the training during the terrible twos period. Very disappointing. But the good news is that as they ease out, as they grow out of it, you keep persevering with the training, you keep following the right strategies, doing the right methods, and as they ease out of the terrible twos, it all starts to come together. And I'm telling you this from every experience I've had, raising Keely from baby, Truman, Rachel, from a little later on, but same deal. All of these birds, during terrible twos, the training helped us get through it, but it was difficult. But as the age changed, the training didn't change. We kept doing the same things through the whole time, through the whole adolescence. But as the age started to change, everything came in place. And Truman became just awesomely behaved, very cooperative, and Rachel also, very much the same. Hey, sweetie. So, all I can tell you is stick through it and, check out my book, follow my blog, my videos, and, learn all about parrot keeping. Let me try to get some more questions here. But for those of you joining us, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm Michael Sazin, the Parrot Wizard, and I've got Keely, my 10-year-old Senegal parrot, here with me, and Rachel, the 6-year-old blue and gold macaw. We're really thankful to our audience, customers, and fan base for joining us and for being part of the Parrot Wizard community. I make my livelihood not through YouTube. I share my information. And Keely, come here. Come here, Keely. Landed on the iPad. Come here. All right. Go over here. So I make my livelihood selling parrot supplies. I don't do Patreon. I don't really get much from the YouTube ads. So if you like my content, if you'd like to support me and my parrot lifestyle and the information we share and the lifestyle we share with you, you can help me out by checking out the Parrot Wizard store, parrotwizard.com/store, and check out all the fantastic products on there. Parrot training purchase, trees, my book, Parrot Wizard's Guide to Well-Behaved Parrots. So you can be helping your parrot out while also supporting my channel and the things I do. So I appreciate you guys and your support very much. Some great Black Friday specials coming up tomorrow, some big sales, and happy to try to answer as many questions here as I can. And of course, when your parrots can fly, they can go where they want. Rachel, come here. You're on Keely's perch, and that's why she doesn't know where to go. All right, let me get back to answering some questions here. Hopefully, I can keep up here. Rachel likes the thinner perches, and Keely likes the thinner perches. Rachel's such a baby. She has the XL perch for her here, but she'd rather sit on the thinner perch. And it's not because it's higher. I put it higher just so you can see Keely when she's on it. But believe me, even if I put this perch down low, Rachel likes the thinner perches. She's just like such a big baby, this bird. So hopefully Keely will come back soon. So anyway, let me try to get to those questions before these birds distract me too much. My comments disappeared. How do I find in my comments? Keely, come here. All right, back to the questions. I just found the comments. So, did you go to school to learn about avians? No, I did not. I self-taught, read every article, book, watched every video possible. But more than anything, learned from my parrots by working with them, by listening to them, by giving them the chance to give me feedback and listening from them. And everything I've learned from my birds, as well as countless customers' birds, and the feedback we get, that's the knowledge that I'm here to share with you. Zorro says Zorro is doing his terrible two. Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, well, let me answer that. They're doing his terrible twos. Nothing works much. Have very little success. Only way I can train is wait for sun to go down, turn lights out, and then he's willingly step up to him. Well, tricking the bird might only go so far, but like I said, persevering, doing the right things that I'm telling you work. And as the age improves, the behavior follows along with that. Let me try to jump back to a couple questions I skipped because this chat keeps kind of disappearing here on me and going back to the beginning, back to the newest ones. My female eclectus only likes me and will stalk other birds and people with intention to attack them. How do I have her coexist with my other birds? Have you ever had this problem? Yeah, my birds, they don't really... Hey, come here. Oh, here we go. Good bird. You're going to have to sit on Rachel's stand now. So Keely is a bit of a bully. She goes after the other birds. They don't get along too well. It's all about giving your birds an alternative thing to that they want to do, that they want to target and step up and do tricks. Keely, wave, wave, good birdie. All right, so good. Give them things that make them be able to get your attention and to succeed even more so than fighting or going after other birds do. So they might get jealous, they might have issues with each other, but if you challenge them to try to please you and win treats and live in a way that is more beneficial than going after other birds, that's the real key and the solution here. Try to get some more questions. Isama says, I really want a cockatiel. They're so fun and cute. Somebody asked, Stan said, how do I teach my parrot not to fly away? There's a couple elements. I mean, if you're talking about outside, it's just not worth the risk. Make sure you take them outside in a cage or in an aviator harness. If you're talking about inside the house, clipping their wings doesn't teach them not to fly away. It just makes them unable to fly away. Not really a good lesson, just a handicap. Whereas when you allow them to fly and then you teach them the right way to fly, that really improves. Rachel's wings aren't clipped. She's a bigger, bulkier bird, so she's much less likely to just fly off. She's only going to fly if she's spooked or if I call her or give her a reason to fly. Smaller birds, they're a little bit more flighty. They have more energy. It's about managing energy. It's about accepting them as a flighted animal. It's also, in large part, about providing them good places, trees and training perches and stands to go on. Because even though they could fly and land on places you don't want them to go, like on top of your TV, on top of your cabinets, but if you make it so that they really like these places, they get treats here, they get rewards here, they have toys, as you can see on the perfect tree in the back, they have more of a reason to stay on the bird places and not bother you by going to the places you don't really want them to go. Let's see if we can get some more questions here. Do you think you will ever have an outdoor aviary? I have my whole backyard netted in, so instead of having a small metal aviary that I can leave the birds in unattended, instead I netted in my yard. There's videos, recent videos show me flying the birds out there in the yard. I can go in there with them. However, I cannot leave the birds there unattended because it's not completely secure. It is a nylon mesh netting. It's some of the birds could potentially, if they spend a lot of time trying to chew through it, they could, but if I'm out there with them, keeping an eye on them, then it's perfectly safe. Some more questions here. GD Gershom asks, what would you be thankful for? Well, thankful for a lot of things. Thankful for good health, good relationships. Of course, being able to do what I love and having parrots and educating parrot public and making parrot products for you guys. I really, really am grateful for that opportunity. Also really grateful to my parrots being such wonderful and amazing pets for me. And of course, I'm grateful for you guys, my audience. For those of you joining us, again, thanks very much for being a follower. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Please be sure to check out my book and my store when you have a chance. Let me get to some more questions though. All right, here we go. And I'm sorry it takes me so long to read the questions, but this YouTube system doesn't make it as easy as possible. Emmanuel asks, why are bird trees so expensive? Well, I'll tell you, the truth is it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to do it right. It seems like it shouldn't cost anything. You go just put a tree down outside and put it in, but there's the constraints. It's got to be the right kind of wood. It's got to be the right shape. If you're talking about natural trees, the companies that make the natural trees, they probably have to get rid of or throw out like 5 trees for every one that they make, because they all have the branches in different ways, and not every natural tree is going to be suited for parrots. If you're asking about my trees that are manufactured, like this perfect tree behind Rachel. Rachel, can you come here so that we can see the tree behind you? Got my perfect tree back there. I've also got the medium and large new birch trees, tabletop trees. Mine are pretty pricey because it takes a lot of work to make them. They are made so that they would work for your bird. When you buy a natural tree, branches go in every which way. It doesn't mean that the bird will be able to climb between them or be able to use all of the tree. My trees are specifically designed and built so that your parrot can make the maximum use out of it. So even though the tree itself is expensive, it's an experience that will work for your parrot instead of something that you just have to look at and then the bird doesn't even like it and can't climb around on it. Let's see here. Anita says you should be even more popular. Thank you. You are now so that people start talking to their bird seriously and give them a happy life. Amazing trainer. Well, thank you very much. Night Rain, Thanksgiving, joy to you. Zorro, yeah, the only way I had success is lights out. Once in there, he's willing to work with me. It has helped him learn wave and be more willing to step up and not run away. Like I said, when the terrible twos are over, probably by around 4 or 5 years old, things should go a little bit more straightforward. Training will be more effective. But, you know, I'd be careful about doing the lights out thing because, you know, you're tricking the bird to get what you want out of it, but it's not making the bird want to be that way. If it's doing, you know, different when the lights are on, then there's still issues, and you do want to work on resolving them in the long term. Stan says, what is the best treat for lovebird? Little guys, lovebirds, parakeets, parrotlets, they love millet spray and little seeds. Works very well for the little guys. Sweet and Sour says, happy Thanksgiving. Francesco Cheetah, hello, I like the birds. I wish I had my parakeets. Would you like to care them? What do you recommend, sir? Not sure the question, but you know, give them a good life. Give them as big of a cage as you can, nutritious food, and try to give them something meaningful to do, foraging toys and training opportunities with you. Tyler says, ringneck parrots will not take a treat from my hand, only tries to bite, but she will step up, also lets me pet her, etc. It just bites every time I try to give her a treat in my hand. Any advice? Well, for starters, don't give her treats, you know. She's great and everything is wonderful, except for when you give treats, then don't give treats and you won't get bit. But I think it goes a bit beyond that. You know, the bird probably is a bit uncomfortable with hands, you know, being near, trying to poke or prod. Make sure you have the treats that the bird really wants. Make sure you do it at the right feeding time when the bird will be interested in the food more than biting. And, you know, maybe start doing it through the bars of the cage. So instead of just giving it out where the bird can bite you, you go to the cage, have the bird inside, and reach through the bars with the food. And then it can't bite, you can only take the food and learn to take the food from your hands. One walnut a day, is it too much for one bird? Depends on the size of the bird. A whole walnut a day, every day for a little Senegal parrot, that's a lot. I mean, that walnut's as big as this bird's head. For a bigger bird like a macaw, that's probably okay. So everything in moderation. Goblin asks, one question I have: do parrots remember owners over the years of not seeing them? 1997, I had a bonus and I had to give it to a family. I knew they will have the parrot. To a degree, I think they do, but at the same time, most important thing, whether they remember you or not, you got to treat it like a new bird that doesn't remember you and start all over again and do the right things. I think the biggest mistake you can make is go to a bird that you haven't seen in a long time and just go right to it and start picking it up and trying to act like nothing happened. That bird, even though it might recognize you, it might be like, hey, whoa there, you know, that's a little bit too quick for me to just put your hands on me and grab me and try to pet me. So, like when I go and visit Santina, I visit her a few times every year with her new owner, Lori. I treat every time I go to see her as a new reintroduction, and slow and gentle at first and give her some treats, give her some time to get to kind of remember me, and then we'll kind of reestablish back to, you know, how familiar we are with each other. It's just definitely important not to pressure the bird and make them feel like you're coming after them. Okay. Is the macaw behind you grumpy? No, Rachel's not grumpy. She's actually pretty content. She's fluffy and everything. Now, these guys are not getting any treats right now because right after this live stream at 2:30, I'm teaching a webinar class about flight recall training. So these guys are pretty ready to fly. They're pretty energetic. They are definitely primed for it. But I want to get through this live stream before I go to my training course live stream. And Rachel's all fluffy and happy right now. So anyway, for those joining us again, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'm glad to meet you all. My name is Michael Sazin, the Parrot Wizard. Keely, my Senegal parrot, here with me. Keely, say hello. 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 Hi, everyone. And Rachel, 6-year-old blue and gold macaw. And we're really grateful to you, our followers here on YouTube, as well as all our customers and fan base. We, of course, couldn't do this without you. We appreciate your enthusiasm and support. And, of course, you can help us out and help your bird out as well by checking out the very helpful parrot products that I designed personally for success with my parrots. And I share that also with yours at the Parrot Wizard store, parrotwizard.com. Also, I've got over 500 videos that I've recorded over the last 10 years of keeping parrots, and that's too much to be able to browse. And YouTube doesn't make it easy to find my old videos. But some of those old videos have some great information in them, and maybe you might want to see kind of the story of how my birds developed and what we've done through the years. So if you want to catch any of my videos, you can see them all in order from newest to oldest, oldest to newest. Search by bird. If you have a Senegal parrot and you just want to see Senegal videos, you click Kili and you'll see just the Senegal videos on there. So if you go to parrotwizard.com/videos for free, they're the YouTube videos. They're the same thing, but they're actually organized in a sequence that makes it much more logical and easy to be able to browse them. So be sure to check that out after our live stream. So let me get back to some questions. And I'm sorry if I can't get to everyone. I'm trying to follow all this chat going on here. What are you going to do for Thanksgiving? Spending it with the birds and going to be seeing family and probably eating a lot of food. What treats do you use? That's probably one of the most common questions I get in my seminars, and probably one of the most misleading ones. What you probably mean is what treats should you use? Because what treats I use is going to be totally different than what you're going to use. Plus, I have different birds. I use different treats for each bird, and just because my birds like certain treats doesn't mean that you wouldn't like them. Just like people have different tastes and personalities. Someone likes vanilla, someone likes chocolate. It's everyone's different. The key is really about finding which treats your parrot likes and what works effectively for you. So it's more about the method than the actual food item. And of course, I discuss that in great detail in a lot of my blog articles and in my book about finding the treats that are going to motivate your parrot and serve as effective positive reinforcement. Let's see if I can get this chat back up. Okay. My African Grey is hand trained in target. However, she doesn't let her flight feathers grow in on the wing. She was clipped as a younger bird. Any suggestions? I know what you mean by she doesn't let them. I mean, maybe she's plucking them. Maybe she is, just hasn't molted yet. But in either case, give it time. I think time is the most important thing when it comes to growing them back. The one thing I would not do is pull the feathers. That's something that some people do, is they pull the feathers so that the new one would grow back in its place. Well, I don't know if you realize, Kili's actually had a permanent handicap as a result of that. On one of her wings, see, on one wing, she's got a full set of primaries. They were, they were pulled and they grew back. On the other wing, some of them pulled and they did not grow back because it damaged the follicles. So it's a handicap she's lived with for the rest of her life because the store recommended pulling them for that. So I do not recommend rushing. The single best thing you can do is just wait, give it time, let them grow back, feed the bird nutritious food so that they can grow in properly. And if the bird is plucking them out, you may need to see a veterinarian. Parrot Wizard, I have been here ever since you lost one of your parrot. Well, that was Truman, and that definitely set things off quite a bit. That was quite a stir, and I'm very happy to have that behind me. And that's why I use the backyard aviary and aviator leashes whenever I take the birds out. Just not worth the risk free flying them. It's a small risk if they're well trained. They fly away very rarely, but when they do, there's really not much you can do. Flight Club is the German Flight Club is here joining us. We're going to be, as soon as we're done here, we're going to be doing a flight training course with the Aviator Club from Germany. And great to have you guys on here with us as well. Happy Thanksgiving from us here in the U.S., where we share our thanks with the friends and family on this day. Question, my Alexandrian hates wooden toys. How to make him like them? Got tons of wooden colorful toys for him. He likes acrylic and beads and stuff like that. It depends what he doesn't like about them, but what I would do in general is, first of all, focus on toys that are smaller, easier to break. If you have, what did you say you have? Alexandrian, get toys that are for a budget. Cockatiel, get really little stuff, very thin little wood, popsicle sticks, things that are easy to break. And you show them, you break them, and you show them how exciting it is, and give him a chance to be successful and realize that he wants to break them as well. Nunia asks, can you take a video of pruning some of the birds, please? There's a recent video of Truman doing a thorough job of pruning himself, and you could find that on my YouTube channel or parrotwizard.com/videos. Eddie says, I might get a red front macaw. Have you handled them before? Not me personally, but you know, between a budgie and a macaw, they have more in common than different. Of course, the size is different. Of course, the personalities would be different. But a parrot's a parrot, and you know, they're just so different than a cat or a dog or other animals that we're mostly familiar with. So, focusing on training, the lifestyle, and the right way of parrot keeping is 80 or 90% of the parrot keeping experience. And then the species, the sex, and the individual personality is just the icing on the cake on top of that. Of course, because we all have different parrots. I have a Senegal, a Cape, and a macaw, and somebody else has a gray, and someone else has an Alexandrian. We all see the differences between our birds because everything else we take for granted is the same between them. They all make noise. They all poop a lot, and they all fly and have wings. You know, these are all things that we kind of take for granted because we already know that they're all birds. We already kind of tune out the things that they all have in common, and we just focus on their differences. But in reality, you know, they are quite similar, and the same strategies work with most of them. Except Truman, he's a complete knucklehead. Midnight Gray says, how many hours of interaction should an Indian ringneck get? Well, first let me tell you this, it doesn't matter that it's an Indian ringneck. You could just as well say a macaw, Senegal, an African gray. The answer is more or less the same for all parrots, and it's about the quality, not the quantity. And spending hours and hours of the day torturing a bird, being mean to it, abusing a bird, even you know, making the bird bored. You know, even not so drastic, right? Even like you take the bird out of its cage. The bird has toys in the cage, food and water. Everything's great. You take that bird out and you put it on a little perch, like this training perch here, and you ignore the bird. You do nothing with it. You don't spend any time with it. You just sit and read email on your phone. You just text your friends. That might be more boring to the bird than just sitting in the cage with its stuff. It's all about the experience you make with the bird when it's out. So, you know, doing something bad to a bird or doing something boring to a bird for many hours is not the answer. It's not about the amount of time. It's about making the quality experience. So what I would like to encourage you is to spend as much reasonable time as you can, but giving the bird an exciting, reasonable experience where they get to interact and be a part of the family, and also be understanding to your birds at that time. Make sure that they are well taken care of, that they're enjoying that time out. Don't you know, put them in stressful situations or make them uncomfortable. You know, if they're upset about it, you know, use training. Make it so that they learn to enjoy that situation more. Do you have any advice on working with a blind parrot? We have a cockatiel that has very poor eyesight, if any. We rescued him from poor conditions. He's very defensive and bites hard for a little bird. I haven't personally worked with blind birds, but I've coached some people that have. The first thing, more than absolutely, you got to have a lot of patience. Keely, come here. Keely, come. Keely. Go back to our tree. With the blind bird, first of all, with any parrot, you need to have a lot of patience. With the blind parrot, even more so, you got to be super, super, super patient. They can't see. Of course, they're going to be much more nervous about things. I would also encourage you to use your voice way, way more. Every single thing you're going to do, narrate what you're doing. I'm going to pick you up. I'm bringing my hand closer to you. I'm going to give you a head scratch. Narrate things so that the bird can, you know, what it can't see, can hear and understand from you. Also, you know, use positive reinforcement to the maximum extent of your ability. Give treats for everything you do. Make sure that the bird feels that, you know, everything that's coming to you is good. Don't pick up the bird and, you know, hold the bird and grab the bird and do things that make it upset. Instead, try to do things that make it comfortable and realize that even though it can't see what's going on, the only things that happen when it hears you nearby are good things. And then the bird will be less defensive and, you know, more comfortable. But of course, if somebody can't see what's going on and they just hear you coming, they're going to get immediately defensive because, you know, they don't know what you're going to do. Goblin says, I like the fact that emphasis using a flight harness is very important to keep parrots safe. Absolutely. Absolutely important to keep them safe, but it's also important to keep them happy and, you know, comfortable when using a harness as well. You know, torturing a parrot that's just fighting and flailing and just like, don't put this on me, I hate this, that would be quite detrimental as well. If the parrot hates the harness, my first advice is take them outside in a cage. Don't torture them with a harness. That's not really appropriate. However, you can definitely do training. You teach them to wear the harness willingly, and if they do, you know, if it's part of what they are comfortable with, it's a completely different story. They're going to enjoy the time they have out because they're okay with wearing the harness. So, remind you that you can also follow my harness training DVD and learn the prerequisites for harness training in my book, The Parrot Wizard's Guide to Well-Behaved Parrots. Or if you are joining from my German course, of course, take the Flight Club course on the parrot training for the aviator harness. Grab a few more questions here. Also, what places do you recommend for adoptions of birds? I really want a very young one to train them. I love birds. They are wonderfully beautiful. For a parakeet to clip the feathers or they are not like very grumpy birds. Well, adoption is usually from someone else. It's a second or third home for a bird. You're usually not going to get to adopt a young bird. Usually, older birds are up for adoption, but you can buy a baby parrot. That's a decision for you to make. Depends on your comfort level and the connection you have with your bird. It depends everywhere. You know, some places have rescues that you can visit. Some places have stores that might be selling the birds that are up for adoption. And some places don't have anything. You might have to mail order from a breeder. So it's all different ways. Really depends on where you're located and what's available to you. But I do encourage you to check out the older rescue birds because there's nothing wrong with them. They're typical parrots and they're what a parrot really is. And with training, you know, this is what a parrot can be. Hello, what do you think about Haik parrots? I adore them and really want to buy a chick. I think they're really goofy and fun and exciting birds. Personally, I prefer the Senegal, very similar size and shape to a Kaik, but a little bit lower energy. I think a Kaik is like for someone who really wants a much more energetic bird. Senegal for me is a bit of a calmer bird and a little bit more of my preference. You know, that's the thing is you can't ask me what birds I like. It's really about what kind of bird you like. You know, what kind of personality and look and size are you looking for? And you know, if the way a Kaik is sounds good to you, then go for it. You know, go for what's nice for you. Brian says, I have a big divided king's cage for my green wings and they go after the other's feet. Any advice? Yeah, my advice is not to use those divided cages. That's an accident waiting to happen. If you have a divider between two birds, it's got to be a double divider. There's got to be a couple inches in between with two sets of bars so that birds can't bite at each other. That's why in my bird room, the door that separates the bird room from the cage room has actually two sets of bars on them to protect it. The only alternative, if you need to use the divided cage, I think is they have some kind of plexiglass insert you can buy or make so that they're, you know, physically divided and can't bite each other's feet. The birds are going to be missing toes sooner or later, and it's not worth the risk. Have you ever read the book My Parrot, My Friend? No, I have not had the chance to. Please don't kill turkey or any other animal if you're an animal lover. I don't eat chicken or turkey personally, but you know, I think you know, to each their own. We're human beings. They're parrots. You know, we have different different needs and diets, and of course, a dog, being a carnivore, is also a different animal. So you know, it's all about having respect for creatures and also accepting them for the kind of creatures they are as well. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for the advice. Radioactive Wolf asks, hey Michael, Rachel, and Keely, I have a cockatiel in the bedroom and I've wanted to begin interaction with, but my cockatiel is a bird that loves talking but no touching. Any quick tips? Long answer is in my book, and really learn the full approach to you know, building trust and interaction with your parrot. Short answer is get some millet spray and just give it millet spray from your hand. You know, don't give it in the cage, give it from your hand. Get that bird used to getting good stuff from you. Eliminate the bad things. You know, the bird, let's say, is afraid of coming out of the cage, or afraid of being grabbed, or afraid of being touched. Stop doing those things. Stop doing the things that make your bird upset or afraid of you, and start doing things that don't. And giving food is very benign. You're not touching the bird even. And then little by little, you can, you know, lure the bird with the food where you want it to go, and eventually try to train and do a more advanced behavior. So, for those of you joining us, I'm Michael Sazin, the Parrot Wizard. I'm here with Keely, my 10-year-old Senegal parrot, Rachel, 6-year-old blue and gold macaw. Truman's having a day off. I'm really grateful to see you all here on this Thanksgiving Day. Just having this quick Q&A session to interact with my followers and fans. I'm really thrilled that you guys watch my videos and buy my products. You can check out lots of my supplies, my perches, like these guys are sitting on here, the tree in the background, purchase for the cage, my book, trick training toys, basketball, bowling, all kinds of fun stuff. Aviator harnesses, got lots and lots of exciting parrot keeping supplies, especially the stuff that brings out the best behavior in our parrots. Design these things myself. They're available at parrotwizard.com. And of course, you can browse all of my videos at parrotwizard.com/videos. It's a much more convenient way to get to go and see the old archive of videos than on YouTube itself. So let me try to jump in and get some more questions. Francisco says, any links towards your book or anything of your things, do you have to type parrotwizard.com? Yep, you just go in your browser after we're done here with the live stream, parrotwizard.com. From there, you can find everything. There's a lot of different things. Parrot Wizard, on one hand, it's my store, but on the other hand, it's also kind of the homepage for everything else. The videos page is free. It's just like being on YouTube. It's my YouTube videos, but you can browse them in a much more convenient way. You can search by bird or by topic. So you can click the videos button to go to the video section, or you could click the Trained Parrot button to go and read the free Trained Parrot blog articles. You can click the store button to go and see the stuff that's for sale. So a lot of different things you can see, and just by visiting parrotwizard.com, you can have access to all of that from there. Some of the stuff is free, some of the stuff you can buy, but you know, it's all a good place for learning all about parrots and parrot behavior. Black Bolt asks, how do you tame a bird? Well, I tame a bird using positive reinforcement. I make sure that the bird is getting something that they want in return for what I want from them, and that they are doing the behavior willingly. So I don't make the birds do anything. If they want to step up, they can. Keely, would you like to step up? See, oh, you're gonna show me your butt? She doesn't want to step up. Okay, you don't have to. I don't make the birds do anything. I do not force them on my hand. I don't do things that upset them. Instead, I try to make it reinforcing and rewarding so that they would want to cooperate with me. Hey, try again. Keely, you want to come? Keely, come here. Keely, come. Keely, step up. There you go. See, she jumped on my finger all by herself. Not coerced. I didn't press her onto my finger. I didn't make her step up. She doesn't have to. But I'm gonna make sure I reward her for that too. Hey, Keely. Oh, you're gonna get some attention and kisses, huh? Thanks for coming on my hand when I asked you to. Hey, you want to do some tricks? You want to say hello to everyone? Hello. Hi. He says hi to everyone. Wave. All right, good birdie. So that's really the fundamental basis, and everything that you see in my videos or that you can learn from my book or my blog articles, everything that you're gonna see from the Parrot Wizard experience is about having a mutual relationship with your parrot. It's not about forcing parrots to do what you want. It's not about making them be circus animals or be forced to do things. It's all about building a mutual relationship where on one hand, we're going to give them things that they want so that they do what we want. So we want them to step up. We want them to let us scratch their head. We want them to go back in their cage when we need to put them away. But on the other hand, we're going to make all those things such that they benefit and they choose to do that. These birds want to go back in their cage when I want them to go in the cage. They want to come out when I want them to come out. They want to go on my hand when I want them to come out, when I want them on my hand. And that's because of the training and the positive reinforcement we've used throughout their lifestyle to be able to get to that point. So I can only get to just a few more questions because in a few minutes here I have to jump off and prepare for my flight training webinar for the Aviator Club. But I'll just get to a few more questions here if we have any more. Senegals are great, and the macaw wants a hug. Oh yeah, hey Rachel, you want a hug? Come here. Come here, you big baby. Hi Rachel. Yeah, okay, there's a hug for Rachel. Hey. Chris, you want to give kisses? Can you kiss? Look at those beautiful wings. Whee! Is it recommended to have the beak and nails trimmed? Well, first of all, unless it's extremely overgrown, trimming the beak and nails is for us, not for them. They generally do okay. Unless it's overgrown. If it's overgrown, it could be a medical condition or it could be just that they don't chew enough. Only a veterinarian can determine if there's a medical underlying cause for it being overgrown or it's just not getting trimmed down enough. But if it's getting too sharp or too long or too inconvenient for us or looks really bad, having it done properly is the way to go. Don't do it yourself if you're not familiar and aware of how it needs to be done. But at the same time, don't assume that just because someone works at a bird store or does grooming, that they're going to do it gently or be nice to the bird in the process. So in my book, you can learn about how you can build the trust and teach your parrot to allow you to groom it voluntarily rather than being forceful. So Like Mariana taught Rachel to allow us to groom her. Rachel, can you see your foot? So, I mean, Rachel's taught to give her foot herself, and we can do the grooming. Keely, on the other hand, she's a little small. It's hard to do it that way, so she's taught to allow me to grab and hold her down and, you know, do things with her feet, and I can file them or cut them myself. So that's ultimately the best way, is to learn to do it yourself properly. But make sure you understand the full precautions, because they can bleed and it could be dangerous. Sorry, no videos teaching the birds how to roll over yet. It's off topic, but when you fly your plane, do your parrots love traveling? Yeah, I think they do. I think they have a blast. We get to spend a lot more time together when we're traveling than at home, so they like that. They like the attention. They like experiencing new places. But we built it up gradually. We didn't just go from being a homebody to going and traveling places. We would, you know, walk in the back. We'd go to the backyard. We'd go to the front yard. We'd go around the block. We'd go to the local park. So we've built these things up until the birds were comfortable and ready to travel. Black Bolt is begging me, but I don't know what he's begging me for. AZ says, could you please consider making a video of games, things to do to fulfill your parrot's social enrichment goals? Sure, I definitely have a bunch like that, and I'll do some more. Check out my foraging box, the natural foraging box. There's a video of it, and you can buy those at parrotwizard.com. These birds have a blast doing them. They like chewing out the wood to get to the treats, rather than those plastic foraging boxes, which at first, like, they can't do, and they're bored because they can't figure it out. And then one day they figure it out how to push the button to get the food, and then that's all they do. The wood one really makes them work with their beak. It trims their beak in the process. It's a much more natural way. They really want to destroy wood, and that's a great way to teach them to play with toys. Any way to stop my bird from plucking? Unfortunately, usually not. It's quite difficult. Definitely too complicated a topic for me to get into right now. But first, for any plucking circuit situation, make sure the bird sees an avian vet. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes there's a medical reason underlying, and no amount of behavioral advice can solve the medical problem, so do see a vet. But when the vet tells you the bird is healthy, it's just plucking, there are ways to enrich the bird's life to hopefully reduce and maybe solve the plucking. But that's a long topic. You'll have to check out my book and do some more research for that. It's 8:15 in Germany, and they like seeing Rachel making a lot of noise. Hopefully once we get flying, she'll get back in the mood. Right now she's a little too relaxed. See, she feels like it's the end of our webinar rather than the beginning, so I'll have to really motivate these birds to get them flying here in a minute. Anyway, I'm being told that it's almost time here for our next session, so I'm going to start wrapping it up here. Thank you very much for everyone for your support, for watching our live stream right now, as well as following the Parrot Wizard YouTube channel. Really appreciate your interest and support. I appreciate that you guys want to take good care of your parrots, that you want to educate yourself and take better care of them. That's what it's really all about. I cannot personally go and save and adopt every parrot in the world and, you know, give them a great home. It's just one person. It's not possible. And the more parrots, if I get more and more and more parrots, I'm not going to be able to take as good care of them. My attention will be diluted between them. But by educating you and helping you be able to achieve similar results to what I have with my parrots, where I'm very happy and they're very happy, these guys, they'll, hey, whoa, hey, come here. That's pretty unusual. Keely didn't see my hand coming, so, hey. Yeah, it was that. So, you know, by developing a great relationship with my birds and being able to share that experience with you, teaching you how you can have that with your birds as well is, you know, the best way to reach as many birds out there as possible. So hopefully through my free videos, you can pick up a lot of advice and, you know, inspiration for the lifestyle you can create. You can purchase my trees and training stands and book and products to help you also have the right supplies to be able to accomplish those things as well. So I thank you very much for your interest and support, and lots more Parrot Wizard videos coming soon. Check all out, all the fun and exciting content at parrotwizard.com. And everyone, thank you very much and have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Goodbye.